Welcome, everyone. France is on fire as protests rage across the country. What is happening? And is there a solution? Over in France, massive unrest as French citizens practice one of their favorite activities, protesting. And the French really know how to do it. They seem to be practicing all the time for just such events like this. The nationwide protests are primarily over an increase in fuel prices being pushed out by the government, but also over the larger theme of rising living costs and growing inequality. The fuel tax was designed to help reduce car usage and improve the environment. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But with the other hand, the government increased military spending for things like new jets, boats, subs, tanks. Where is the talk of the environment now, French government? And what about the 8 billion euros in subsidies that France is giving to the fossil fuel industry in 2018? Seems like you could start there versus a fuel tax. To note, though, France does intend to phase out these subsidies for the fossil fuel industry in the coming years, but still, that's 8 billion euros this year. As protests enter their third week, the president is considering declaring a state of emergency, which would give police wider powers. And hey, look, violence sucks, and it is sad the protests have devolved into violence. But when faced with riot police and a government that ignores you and does not pay attention to your concerns, I'm not surprised that these kind of things happen. The yellow vests, as the protesters are being called, are being driven by really the anger of a middle class which has been increasingly forced out of gentrified cities, which has been caught out by the disappearance of public services and local shops. A middle class which has been struck with massive unemployment and pushed to the limit by a minimal purchasing power. The Macron government has in general been one which is totally out of touch with normal humans, and in typical political fashion has done nothing but lie. Macron is a typical elitist who props up the rich with tax cuts, seeing the top 1% capturing 44% of the gains, and of course, which punishes the poor by increasing living costs, assaulting worker rights, cutting housing benefits, privatization of public assets, and increasing taxes on pensioners. Really, guys? The pensioners? These politicians are so dumb. That's like the #1 voting category of people. Macron was sold to the public as a moderate, but we all know what moderate actually means. Corporate whore. The so-called president of the rich is making himself look more and more like a modern Marie Antoinette, bothered about the rabble and the peasants outside making noise, when of course she uttered her famous "let them eat cake." Remember, the system is socialism for the rich, capitalism for the poor. It may be time for the 6th Republic in France. The 5th doesn't seem to be working out so well for the average person. The world over, we are really seeing the same thing time and time again. Government is almost completely opposed to the will of the people. Some exceptions excluded. The political class does not really represent us. It represents the rich and the powerful. And the global system that we have right now only seeks to crush humanity, to control the natural order of the world, and to extract as much wealth as possible from everything around us. This is not our future. These are the symptoms of a sick, dying, cornered monster from the past. We need real solutions to address the multiple systemic crises which are facing humanity today, and to move towards our third industrial revolution economy future. How are we still electing politicians? My mind is boggled. I really don't know. Seriously, how are politicians still a thing, guys? It's crazy. But And almost always, we see this being a situation of the lesser of two evils in elections. Well, let's stop choosing evil. How about that for an election? Can we empower ourselves as citizens, as self-sovereign humans? Can we collectively make the decisions needed to govern the world around us? Because our representatives never really seem to represent us. Can I posit the idea of Athenian-style democracy, where all citizens make decisions on key issues in regular referendums, all backed up on the blockchain, using, of course, voter ID, security for the ballot, etc., etc. Too long have those people who do not represent everyone else made decisions for you and me. Why continue with this system? Why not try something new? Be a bit brave, be innovative. What do you think about blockchain governance? Could it work? Is it possible? There's a lot of naysayers. Or do you have a better idea of how we can become self-sovereign agents to govern the world without politicians? Let me know about it down below in the comment section. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. You can leave one of these thumbs ups on it. That would be super amazing. If you want to stay up to date with what is happening in crypto, there's a notification bell down below which you can click on. You guys are supremely awesome. I love you all. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.